Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out GALA's price chart. And recently, I'm seeing a lot of tweets indicating that in GALA, we are actually having a beautiful triangle structure. And in order for you to see it a bit better, maybe it's best to go on a less busy chart, let's say from Kraken. There we go. You see, according to a lot of Twitter accounts, the idea is that we are having in here actually a rather bullish triangle, and this is the upper line, and this is going to be our lower line right in here. Now, question, is this pattern actually allowed? Well, you see, it actually depends. If we like only and only classic patterns, I can tell you, you know what, fair enough. Yes, since before this triangle structure, this supposedly triangle, we are having a move on the upside, then okay, this can be a bit of a bullish triangle, but pay attention to this important point. This isn't at the moment confirmed yet, okay? You need to be a bit patient and see a move up in GALA in order to get a break of the upper line, followed by that we do a very slow and choppy pullback, and then another move in order to take this important high. If we do this, okay, fair enough, this pattern at that point is confirmed. Now, here's a question. Do I like this pattern in terms of Elliott waves? The answer is absolutely not. And in fact, I'm going to tell you right now, I actually prefer GALA to go a bit lower than that. And then we get from these areas a very strong bounce back. Why is that? You see, if you want to be bullish on any chart, then okay, in terms of Elliott waves, you need to be able to find off of the recent lowest low a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. This specific example is called an impulsive movement. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, wave 3 is simply not allowed to be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, you probably know what I'm about to say. 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different scenarios. Honestly, it's not really that important. Let's say, okay, WXY into wave 4 and an ABC structure into wave 2. Now, pay attention to this important point. If you want to go 100% according to the rules, then you are not allowed to have a triangle in terms of Elliott waves into your wave 2. And why is this thing so important? Because let's go on the live chart. Let's say you believe that GALA is looking fantastic and bullish, and the final low right in here about 1.1 cents is already on. Then okay, you know what, fair enough. In that scenario, you do have actually quite a valid argument for this thing to be a 5 wave up, meaning we are definitely looking bullish based on this side. But here's the situation. This 5 wave on a higher degree, if you want to be optimistic, is going to be into what? Yep, a wave 1, followed by that a correction for wave 2, and what's next? A strong move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. But wait a minute, earlier we said we are not allowed to have a triangle structure into wave 2. This, my friends, is why I actually want to see this supposedly triangle getting invalidated, and for example we get a move down and then a very strong bounce back, because at that point I'm able to tell you with a hell of a lot more confidence that, you know what, this is maybe an ABC or maybe even a WXY to about this point. Doesn't really matter a whole lot, generally anything but a triangle structure, indicating okay, we are absolutely allowed to consider this 5 wave up, meaning the final low is in, and we can say that at that point with a lot more confidence. So this is why I am honestly not really a big fan of this triangle that I showed you earlier. Now let's go back on our own chart from trading view and zoom and more, see what is going on. So if you remember, the last time that we talked about GALA, we were, I think, around these regions, and the idea was that this can be a 5 wave up, followed by that seems like that we are having a correction down, and we may very well see another 5 wave on the upside. But overall, in my view, since relative to this move down, we are having kind of a slow and choppy move on the upside, makes sense to say this is going to be an ABC or maybe a WXY, generally some sort of a correction, meaning the final low, unfortunately, is not in yet, and after this phase is over, we can expect a move down in order to take all the lows, and I still stand by what I said. You see, sure, we did continue our move down, but I'm not really sure whether the job is done yet. Why is that? You see, the whole idea in the previous update for why most likely we are headed lower was actually because of the fact that we are having recently couple of lows very close together, and whenever you are having this situation, a lot of short-term traders around the lows are going to open some long positions, and most of them, I'm gonna say probably 80+% of them, put their stop loss under the lows, and the price unfortunately has a tendency to absolutely wreck and destroy those people. Meaning, sure, maybe you are going to see a very short-term bounce back, but then immediately you're going to see a strong move down in order to take all the lows and make those short-term traders absolutely cry. And what is going on in here? Let's just actually count the lows that are quite close together. This is, excuse me, let's just take this object, okay? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lows are very close together, and I'm going to argue these are looking very juicy, meaning what? Probably soon we're going to get another move on the downside in GALA in order to take the lows. And at that point, all eyes actually on this important slowdown here and see, are we going to take it or not? I'll be honest with you, in an ideal scenario, I really do not want to see GALA taking this low. And for me to be able to still say, you know what, on a higher degree, this is 5 wave up into a wave 1. This is correction for wave 2. And what's next? Yep, you guessed it right. A strong move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And what if we go down and take the loss? At that point, I'm not even going to be overwhelmingly bearish. No, I'm just going to argue the recovery phase, meaning having a 5 wave up into a wave 1 followed by a correction structure into wave 2 is going to take quite some time. And I'm not really sure how long is it going to take. For example, if you want to consider this thing as a 1-2, okay, let's just measure it real quick timing wise. As you can see, this is so far taking us about 1,300 candlesticks. So if the same is going to happen after we take the lows, then okay, expect a couple of weeks of consolidation pattern in GALA in order to build the bullish setup. And then after it, I think we are going to get a magnificent move on the upside. So in conclusion, in like very short time in GALA, in my view, since these lows are looking extremely juicy, probably we are going to get a move on the downside in order to clear them all and go a bit lower than that. But then all eyes on this important low, and let's hope that we are not going to take it, and for example from here we're going to get a very strong bounce and finally get a break of this unbelievably important resistance area, which the higher band of it is around the 2 cents region. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in GALA. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.